All right, back for another beer review, and today I am reviewing a beer from the Rusty Rail Brewing Company, and they are out of Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania, and this is their Waffle Sauce, and they are calling this an Imperial Maple Pecan Brown Ale. So, this beer comes in at 8.2% alcohol by volume, 26 IBUs, and at the time of review, this beer is just under 3 months old. Now, when I was in Erie, Pennsylvania about a month ago, I saw this and another one of their beers, and I was like, they both sound pretty tasty, so I picked both of them up. I think they were like under $3, and here we are. On the side here, it says, traditionally, maple syrup is meant to be paired with fresh, thick waffles. We feel the flavor pairs better when it is with savor pecans and our choice blend of roasted malts. This Imperial Brown Ale has a kick that can warm you up and a smooth flavor that can be repeated for breakfast, lunch, and or dinner. So yeah, I don't know much about this. I do remember a great friend of mine and fellow beer tuber, Paul, over at PA Brew News, believe he reviewed this earlier this year, and he talked about, I think he said it was a little bit extracty in his opinion. Now, they don't mention if they're actually brewing this with pecans and real maple syrup. They just say it's an Imperial Maple Pecan Brown Ale. So, I don't know. We'll see. Let's crack it open and give it a pour. Now, I don't necessarily love brown ales, but if I do want a brown ale, an Imperial one is where it's at. We're going to use the Victory Gold Monkey because, you know, Pennsylvania represent, some Dirty Glass Mafia represent, all the time, never stopping, Dirty Glass Mafia, and we're good. Okay, so this pours out this really nice, like amber, deep amber color, has ruby red hints, about a 3/4 of a finger of a tan head, relatively creamy, some slightly bigger bubbles, but pretty compact and creamy looking. Yeah, that looks beautiful. This doesn't look, I mean, this looks more like an amber, I would say. Not an amber, but it doesn't look like a straight up brown ale. But it's an Imperial Brown Ale, so whatever. We'll let it slide. Now this is about half an hour, 40 minutes out of the fridge, so probably in like the 55 range. And I'm not getting a whole lot on the nose. Some slight nuttiness from the pecans, some slight caramel toffee tinges, a little bit of copper coin as well in there. It's just slightly metallic. At the end, I'm getting something that represents maple syrup. I would say it's more like an unrefined maple syrup. It doesn't have a lot of sweetness behind it. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot going on in the nose, so I want to get into it. So cheers, everyone. The maple syrup and the pecans are definitely more noticeable in the taste. Now, I kind of see what Paul was saying about the extracting note of this one. It doesn't taste like authentic, real maple syrup. I'm not saying they don't use that in here, because I don't know. But it just has like a generic syrup, like a table syrup that isn't authentic, like your, you know, high fructose corn syrup kind of feel to it. The pecans definitely feel more authentic. There is a nuttiness there, a dryness there that I'm enjoying. 8.2% doesn't drink like it. I would guess this is like 5.5 to 6. Caramel toffee, a little bit of that earthy nuttiness from the pecans. The maple syrup has a sweetness is there, but like I said, I'm not sure if it's real maple syrup or not. If I had to guess, I would say probably not, but again, who am I? Just a beer tuber that doesn't know anything. You know what I mean? The body, like medium body, it's a bit thin. Paul, I don't know if Paul, I can't remember if Paul said it was a bit thin, but I'm sure he did. A little bit more carbonated that I would like to see out of this one. Probably appropriate for the style, but when I'm drinking Imperial anything, I'd like it to be a little bit more soft and creamy. This doesn't really have that. That said, it's 8.2%. It's going down quite easily. I can't detect the alcohol. It's not overly sweet. I mean, there's a sweetness there. There is like a slight sharp, metallic, almost copper coin note to this one too. Not off-putting, but it kind of muddles the beer a little bit on the finish. The finish is semi-dry. Like I said, it has a nice balance between the sweetness and there is a slight bitterness there, that dryness, that slight earthiness and the nuttiness from the pecan too kind of battles that sweetness and kind of, you know, makes everything a bit more balanced, but also way more drinkable in the process. As you can see, I'm throwing this back quite easily. Now, they went for a maple pecan Imperial Brown Ale, and I'm not going to say they hit the nail on the head, but they did a pretty good job with it, regardless of whether or not they're using extracts or real maple syrup. I do think it's pretty solid. Nothing wrong with it. 8.2%. I could drink a couple of these and get in trouble, and I would have no problem doing so. So that was Waffle Sauce Imperial Maple Pecan Brown Ale from the Rusty Rail Brewing Company, and I'm going to give it a solid 3.75 out of 5. Can't really go much higher, but yeah, it's enjoyable. And if you are a fan of like maple beers, or you do enjoy like pecans or just Imperial Browns in general, I would highly recommend checking this one out and seeing what you think. I don't think it's anything that's, you know, mind-blowing or out of this world, but it's pretty solid for what it is. So appreciate you guys stopping by for another review, and until the next one, cheers.